Afternoon, traveller. Nice to see you here. Perhaps you'd like to take a seat and share a story with me? My name is Galeas, troubadour of dawn and knight errant. I have a small collection of stories here, and more if I care to look. Perhaps a story from the Brass Coast. This one, perhaps. The Merchant and the Fish. A story copied from Marcela e Erigo's library. She is a host for the Egregore spirits. Many of my stories have to do with virtue. So on. This is a Freeborn story about, well, I guess you'll see, but it does cover wisdom and vigilance and having just a little bit of common sense. Many years ago, when the cities were smaller, and before my mother's mother had even thought about boarding a boat, there was a Demiro who lived on the highest hill of the lowest ridge along the shore. And as the Demiro was rich, virtuous and happy, and their family was rich, virtuous and happy, as all freeborn families should be, one day, when looking out from their house on the highest hill of the lowest ridge along the shore, the Demiro decided to buy a gift to celebrate their oldest child's citizenship test. And so they decided to walk along the beach towards the busy marketplace. As the Demiro walked, they came across the sheltered lagoon at the bottom of the lowest ridge on the shore, and there they saw a strange object lying on the sand. Stopping, they brushed the sand from it to reveal a carved wooden fish, marked with runes upon its gills. And the Demiro smiled broadly, for their oldest child loved fishing more than any other thing. Surely, for here is the rune Ul, the Demiro said to himself. This is chance and fortune indeed to find such a thing washed up on the beach. It must be meant for my oldest child. And so they placed the wooden fish in their pocket and walked back up to their house on the highest hill of the lowest ridge along the shore. And their oldest child was so pleased with the fish that they both stayed up far past their bedtimes and slept until well past noon. When the Demiro awoke, the house was in turmoil. The Demiro asked their family, "Family, what has caused such distress?" "Oh, Demiro," their family replied, "we are cursed, for a black cloth has been nailed to the door." And Demiro went outside and found that indeed there was a black cloth nailed to the door. "Oh, Demiro," cried their family, "we are cursed and fear to leave the house. What shall we do?" And the Demiro looked at their family and said, "Family, fear not, for I will go to the docks, and there I shall ask the wisest merchant how to lift this curse." And so the Demiro walked from the highest hill on the lowest ridge along the coast to go to market. And as they walked, I tell you true, their coin purse dropped coins along the beach one by one by one, until there was only a single ring left. And when the Demiro got to market, they went to the house of the wisest merchant and said, "Oh, wisest merchant, what price for your hospitality today? For my family has been cursed and I have need of counsel." And the wisest merchant looked them up and down and said, "Oh, most foolish Demiro, normally it would be but a ring to share the pleasure of your company, but I cannot risk a curse even for my oldest and most prosperous friend, and so I must ask a crown to cover the risk I am taking." And the Demiro smiled and said, "I understand, of course," but when they put their hand into their purse, their face fell, and they shook their head. "Oh, wisest merchant, I have no money in my purse, for here has sprung a leak. I cannot pay you a crown." And the wisest merchant said, "Oh, most foolish Demiro, then I cannot risk lowering my price, for your curse has struck already. Perhaps the soutenier will have some advice." And so the Demiro continued until they came to the house of the most busy soutenier. "Oh, soutenier, what price for your counsel today? For my family has been cursed, and I have but a ring to my name." And the soutenier looked at the Demiro and said, "Oh, most foolish Demiro, You must have done something most unvirtuous to have deserved such a curse. I can help you, but only if you are able to provide some entertainment for the feast I am preparing." And the Demiro looked sad and said, "Alas, my family refuses to leave the house for fear of the curse, and I can neither sing nor provide payment for musicians." And the Suetonius said, "Oh, most foolish Demiro, but I cannot give you counsel until you have proved your virtue again. Perhaps the Hakima will have some advice." And so the Demiro continued until they came to the house of the most respected Hakima. "Oh, Hakima, I am cursed, and neither my friends the merchant nor the Suetonier are able to help me, for the single ring I now have in my purse. Can you give me counsel?" And the Hakima said, "For a ring, I will listen to your words and consider what might be done." And so the Demiro explained all that had happened, from the highest hill to the sheltered lagoon, to the wooden fish and the black cloth, and through it all the Hakima listened and considered. Finally, the Hakima said, Oh, most foolish Demiro, have you thought to ask whose fish it was you took without payment?" And the Demiro shook their head and said, No, Hakima, for it was washed up on the shore and belonged to no one." And the Hakima said, Oh, most foolish Demiro, whoever this fish belongs to is the one who has cursed you, and we must find them and see if we can untie this knot to everyone's benefit." And so the Demiro and the Hakima walked to the sheltered lagoon at the bottom of the lowest ridge along the shore, and there they found a corsair sitting and watching the waves, singing a melancholy song. "O corsair," called out the Hakima, "do you know of a wooden fish that was swept onto the shore?" And the corsair replied, "Oh, Hakima, I know of a wooden fish, for it was washed ashore with me when I was shipwrecked. When I woke, it has been taken from me without payment. I followed the thief's steps and cursed the one who took it until such time as I am recompensed." Hearing this, the Demiro threw themselves down before the corsair and said, "O corsair, what payment would you accept for your fish? I have no coin left in my purse, for I have given my final ring to the Hakima." Hearing this, the Demiro threw... I've just done that bit. The corsair considered. "Oh, most foolish Demiro, you should have considered that before taking what was not paid for. That fish was most precious for me, for it was the only thing I left for my family and the only thing I had left to sell. As such, I asked for work to pay for my food and lodgings until I've earned enough to pay my own." And the Demiro looked most downhearted, for they had no work to offer and no room in their house. Did you bring the dogs? And the Hakima then said, "O corsair, you have the most beautiful voice. There is a Suetonier who is looking for musicians for their feast tonight, and you may seek work there." And the corsair and Demiro agreed, and they returned to the Suetonier's house, and there they told the tale again, from the highest hill to the sheltered cove, to the wooden fish and the black cloth. And the Suetonier said, "Oh, most foolish Demiro, now that you have found me this great musician, you have paid for my advice. The merchant's cousin was lost at sea and has a fondness for corsairs. Perhaps they can find a lodging for you." And so the Demiro, corsair and Hakima went to the wisest merchant's house, and there they told the tale again, from the highest hill to the sheltered cove, to the wooden fish and the black cloth. And the wisest merchant spoke and said, "Oh, most foolish Demiro, you have paid me far more than a crown, for if this story is true, this corsair is my cousin's child. I gave her the fish when we were but children, and my uncle marked her with the rune Ul and Ophis as a reminder that chance may reveal the truth. I should therefore always be honest. The corsair is welcome to stay here for as long as they wish, and for my advice, I shall say to continue walking to your house along the lowest ridge to the highest hill, and you may yet find the coins that you have lost." And so the Demiro led the corsair and Hakima up the hill, and along the way the corsair picked up the trail of lost coins, but the Demiro could not see, and when they arrived, the corsair said, "O most foolish Demiro, I will take but a ring from your purse, I will burn the cloth on your door, and I will break the curse for you. Have paid me as much as that fish was ever worth to me. Here is all your money, and may it not fall through your fingers again." And so the Demiro paid their debt, the corsair found their family, and the Hakima was once again proved the wisest by all those in town, for she was paid for the Demiro for her help, she was fed by the wisest merchant for bringing her lost cousin home, and she was entertained by the soutenier in the most prosperous display the marketplace had ever seen. And that is a true tale. Now perhaps you enjoyed the story, and perhaps you enjoyed the dogs. Either way, I hope we have had fun. And now, as you continue on your journey, I will say farewell. Perhaps I will see you again, and perhaps I will tell you another story.